Hello, hardworking students. So today's video is about writing compound and complex sentences. My name is Daniel Roif from Kufferboon, and I teach grammar level 3. Alright, so let's start our lesson today, shall we? Okay, so first and before we start, let's just distinguish and differentiate between two types of sentences in the English language. Alright, we'll do this together. So the first type of sentences is called a simple sentence, okay? Or it's also called an independent clause, okay? So it has both names, the same thing, simple sentence or independent clause. So simple sentences are sentences that express a complete thought, including and they include a subject and a verb. Okay, so any type of sentences you've heard so far is a simple sentence, which means it's also an independent clause. It should have a subject, right? Subject and a verb in it. So in this case, you have John. John is your subject. Plays is your verb, and football is your object. But you don't necessarily always have an object, because it can be an intransitive verb, in which case you would be lacking an object. But the most important part is that you will be having a subject, right, in all of them, and you will also be having a verb for sure. The verb can be a verb to be, an auxiliary verb, or any type of verbs you have in English language. Alright, so this is a simple sentence. It ends with a period, a full stop in the British English it's called. So this is all there is about them. Like, I play tennis, you play football, I sing songs, I finished my homework. So all of these sentences are complete sentences, and they're simple sentences or independent clause. Okay, so let's go on. What is a dependent clause? Okay, so we learned about an independent clause. What about a dependent clause? A dependent clause does not act as a complete sentence and begins with a subordinating word. So in this type of sentences, or clauses rather, there is a difference. They don't make sense alone. They are not complete, and they don't give you meaning or content. Okay, so look at this one. They always start with a subordinating word, okay? With a subordinating word. So in this case, you have your subordinating word is when. In this case, whenever, after, because, if, right? So, and many others. Let me give you a couple of examples. Before that, actually, there are many of them, many of the subordinating conjunctions. I'll go through them in detail almost, but you should know that a dependent clause starts with a subordinating conjunction, and it has a comma after it, okay? It has a comma after if it is in the beginning of the sentence, because it is not a complete sentence. You cannot have a full stop or a period at the end of the sentence. So when the door opens, then what? When the door opens, what? We're looking for something else, and it is not the most important part of the sentence we're being given. Whenever I see you, okay, what about it? You were looking for something else. You're looking for more, okay? Whenever I see you, I talk to you. So I need something else. After I talk to her, okay, what then? So after I talked to her, I slept, right, for example. So you need something else. Because I started the fire. Because I started the fire. Okay. What is there? It doesn't make sense alone. You need more in your sentence. It cannot stand alone in a sentence. And it definitely cannot take a full stop at the end of it, okay? So these two types of sentences are very important to understand. Okay, and through this we can go further and discover more in the complex and compound sentences we'll be talking about today. So first of all, I'll start with the compound sentence. Okay, so the compound sentence needs two independent sentences. Okay, two simple sentences, and a fanboy. What's a fanboy? A fanboy is a fancy way of saying for and nor but or yet so. So fan boy, right? It is an abbreviation of fanboys, okay, or fanboys. So one of these, okay. So all you need to create a compound sentence, all you need is two simple sentences and one of these guys, okay, one of these guys. Let me give you an example here. She was hungry, comma. They're almost always, actually always, they used in the middle of the sentence, okay? In the middle of the sentence, that's how you should know it for the moment. They're used in the middle of a sentence, and you need a comma right before them, okay? You need a comma right before them. This comma is important, okay? So you should keep that in mind. So she was hungry. She is my subject. Was is my verb. So this is a complete sentence. I gave her some food. I gave her some food. Another complete sentence. It's an independent clause. So you have two independent clauses, as I mentioned before, and they make sense altogether alone. And you have your fanboy. In this case, you have so, right? In this case, you have but. It depends on the meaning and what you're trying to say. She was hungry, so I gave her some food. I'll go through each of the fanboys one by one, and I'll try to teach you what they mean and how we use them. But the structure is important. Two independent clauses and a comma between them, and a fanboys. Okay, a fanboys is just one of these guys. Okay, so let's go on and start with for. Okay, what does for mean? Okay, if it is in our case, if it's a fanboys, it means because. Okay, the meaning of it just means because. Okay, because. So she passed the exam, for she had studied hard. She passed the exam is my first clause. It's a simple sentence, an independent clause. She had studied hard. For means because. So she passed the exam because she had. This is our reason. How can you pass an exam? Well, you have to study hard, right? So she passed the exam for she had studied hard. So because she studied hard, or for the reason that she has studied hard. Okay. I helped the old man. I helped the old man. So this is my first clause, comma. Then I have my fanboys here, right? I have my fanboys here. Same thing here. And I have my comma. I need both of them. There are cases we ignore them, but not at your level for the moment. You should know them all. You should use it always, okay? So I helped the old man, for he could not open the door by himself. So I helped the old man because he couldn't open the door by himself, okay? This is my reason why I helped the old man, okay? So this is what for means, okay? And then we go to and. So it just means in addition to something, right? We add in something to our content. I was near the door, and she was near the window. So I was near the door, she was near the window. This is my fanboys here, and this is my comma, right? Most importantly, the comma is the most important part, so you should remember it. I studied for the exam. I'm sorry. Comma, and I passed the exam. So I am connecting to things. In addition to this, that happened. Or it depends on the tense you use, but it's usually something sensible to your imagination at any moment. But the important part is learning what these mean and being able to use them. Okay, in your writing and in your speaking. Grammar is important. Don't forget, grammar is important. So nor. What does nor mean? It is used to continue the force of negative before it. So it usually you usually have a negative before it, right? A negative before it, and it continues the force of it without using not. Okay, without using not. So I didn't like the car, nor did I like the bicycle. So I didn't like the car, I didn't like the bicycle. But we use this fancy way of putting the two sentences together, okay? So it means this is also negative because we have nor, okay? I didn't like the car, nor did I like the bicycle. As you see, it's a little bit weird how this is said. So you might think we should say, I didn't like the car, nor I liked the bicycle. Probably, but the important thing here is that you should use your auxiliary verb or your helping verb right after the nor, okay? So you try to do that always, okay, as you see here too. So follow that rule, and you will be able to learn it faster, okay. So I didn't learn Farsi. I never learned Farsi, nor did Tanya learn it. So I never learned Farsi, and Tanya never learned Farsi. The same thing. So I'm continuing the force of negativity, or negative in this case. So, but on the contrary, or opposite to. This is what it means. Opposite to. I ate all the rice, but I did not eat the soda. Right. Opposite to this, I didn't do this. I studied very hard for the test. Right. I studied very hard for the test. Ali, she. What am I saying? I studied very hard for the test, but she didn't study. So this is opposite to this. I studied hard, she did not study, okay? So two opposite things. On the contrary, okay? That's all there's into, but don't forget the comma again. Don't forget it. Right before the fanboys, okay? Here again we have it, so remember it, okay? Important. We have or. It represents an alternative. This is one meaning it has, okay? But it also means otherwise, okay? Or it shows the consequence of something. You can study, right? You can study, or you can waste your time. So you have a choice. You have an alternative. You have a choice. You can do either of these, okay? She will give you a ride, or you can use a bus. In this case, you were given another chance, right? Your alternative is she can give you a ride, or you can use a bus. So you have two choices, okay? Two choices. Or it also means otherwise, right? Otherwise you can use a bus. But the alternative part is important. Okay, this is what it means in this content anyways. We have yet. It means though, or still, or nevertheless. The car was very fast, yet it could not win the race. Even though the car was very fast, it couldn't win the race, right? It's also the opposite of something else, right? It just means this part of the sentence is not really enough, right? It is not enough, right? There is something else into it. So many people like Real Madrid, yet Barcelona is a better team, right? Yet, even though this is true, this has remained correct. So it shows you an opposite thing to the common sense in a way. Okay. More examples will teach you more about this. The final one is so. It just means as a result. Okay. The result of something. I didn't have money, so I did not buy the car. So I didn't have money. As a result, right? I did not buy the car. So I did not speak Chinese, so I will be quiet. So I don't speak Chinese, so I'll be quiet, right? I don't speak Chinese. As a result, I will be quiet. I don't know English. So you can teach me. I don't know English. As a result, you can teach me, right? As a result of that, you can teach me, okay? So this is almost all we have about the fanboys. All of them. We went through all of them. And again, practice more and read more. Read and watch movies and TV shows and YouTube videos. We will be able to teach you more. And then after we finish the compound sentences, we'll go to the complex sentences. Okay, I'll give you a definition of how they are formed, and then we'll get into a little bit of details and examples. Okay. So it requires a dependent clause and an independent clause, okay? Very, very, very important. This is the difference between this and the compound sentences. In the compound sentences, we had two independent clauses, right? But here we have an independent clause and a dependent clause, okay? The dependent clause starts with a subordinating word, okay? The subordinating conjunctions or words are these, okay? It requires a comma if the dependent clause comes first, okay? So if it comes first, you need a comma. If it's in the middle, no comma, okay? I'll explain this. So we have after, although, as, because, before, even if, even though, if, in order that, once, provided that, rather than, since, so that, than, that, though, unless, until, when, whenever, where, whereas, wherever, whether, while, why, and we have many others, okay? But these are the most important ones, and they mean different things, and you need to learn those by yourself, okay? You need to learn them by yourself, okay? The meaning of each of them, you have to look for it. You have to try to make sense of the sentence. That's a part of the learning, I suppose, okay? So we have a dependent clause. The dependent clause has one of these in it, okay? And then we have an independent clause, okay? And they are separated by a comma if the dependent clause comes first. So let me give you examples, okay? So because I have my subordinating conjunction here, let me just give you all the subordinating conjunctions I mentioned in the previous slide. You need to learn these, and you need to know the meaning, okay? It will not be a very hard task, I'm sure, because you're reading and learning about other things at the same time, so this will be a piece of cake for you, I hope. All my subordinating conjunctions, I have made them green, okay? These are, so this is too big, let me make it smaller. So green stands for subordinating, I got it wrong, okay? Conjunctions, okay? So the green colors, that's too much. Oops, okay, nice. So these green ones are subordinating conjunctions, which means this sentence will become my dependent clause, okay? My dependent clause. Anything after it, until the comma, if there is. So anything after it, after, right, after again, after. These are my dependent clause, and the other one is my independent clause. If my subordinating conjunction is in the beginning of the sentence, I need a comma, okay? I need a comma to separate both sentences, okay? If it is in the beginning of the sentence. But if it is in the middle, no comma, okay? No comma. So after I ate the cake, I felt sick. So this is my dependent clause, this is my independent clause. I have a comma between them, then I have a period at the end, a period for all of them, right? So I didn't feel sick before I ate the cake, okay? So after means something happens, after something else, basically, right? After something else is done, right? Is there any synonym, easy synonym for after? I'm not sure. Later or afterwards, yeah, but it's the opposite of before. That's all I can say. I didn't feel sick before I ate the cake, so prior to it, right? Beforehand. Whenever I play football, I feel happy. So every time. Whenever means every time I play football, I feel happy. I get angry when I see Serupe. Yes, I hate it. So I get angry when. So it means at the time, right? At the time or something like that. Javid can be a teacher if he wants, okay? If it gives you a condition, okay? It gives you a condition. You will lose your job unless you apologize. So unless in this case it means you need to do something. So it means the opposite of it. If you don't do this, that will happen, the consequence of it, right? It makes me sad that you hit your mom. So the fact that you hit your mom makes me sad, right? The car got broken because you drove terribly. So because gives you a reason. It gives you the reason of something, okay? So that's pretty much what this is all about. Pretty clear, but also it needs you to work. Okay, it needs you to work. What about compound complex sentences? This is a little bit hard for your level, but this is another thing that can happen. You can have both. You can have both the fanboys I talked about and the subordinating conjunctions in the same sentence, okay? It's pretty common. It's called the compound complex sentence in the English language, and through time you'll learn it. It requires you to practice a lot and to be able to learn and understand things better, okay? Same thing goes for the sentence. Here we have that, and we have if, right? I forgot to talk to you, right? So, as a result, we talked about it, I called you, right? When I remembered. So this part of the sentence, this part, is my complex sentence, right? And this part is my compound sentence, right? So this is in both of them, right? This is in both of them. You can try the blue sheet, or you can take the yellow if you like. So this part is my compound sentence, and this part is my complex sentence, and they share, this part is shared between both of them. Pretty common, as I said, and it requires you to work hard and practice to be able to get there, but it is not that hard if you work simultaneously with your writing and your reading and your listening, right? So again, practice and work hard, and please, 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 if you needed help, you can always email me and ask me for help. Okay, I will help you, I promise. Well, according to how much time I've got, but this email, or I had the other one, what was it? Yeah. So I can also help you from this one, probably even easier for me because this is more personal, okay? I'll be able to help you, and since this might be my final video, I'll give you my Viber. So if you don't like email, you can Viber me, okay? So 710. Yeah, I have a Viber attached to this. Oh no, this is 0. It was somebody else's. So 963. Yeah. So this is my my Viber. Don't call me, please. Don't call me, but Viber me. I'll answer you. Text me via Viber. I'll answer you and I'll help you. I promise. Okay. And good luck with your studies, and please work hard. Okay. Please make this country better. Not like Trump. Be different, okay? Be different. Don't make it. What is he doing? Make America bigger again? No. Just try to help your country and learn things, okay? Thanks for listening, and goodbye.